Counter-Strike 2 has a big problem that we need to talk about right now. Now, as you guys know, I played a good amount of CSGO back in the day, but when it comes to Counter-Strike 2, I haven't played nearly as much, but I've been trying to get back into it, right? But there's just one teeny-weeny problem with this game right now. Well, it's actually not a tiny problem at all. It's actually massive. Let me paint you guys a picture. Before recording this video, I wasted roughly an hour trying to figure out how to access workshop content on Counter-Strike 2. We're on CS2 right now, and if I go to click the play button, there is absolutely nothing here. Okay, well, they do have community servers, but from my understanding, you can't access any of the workshop content that you had from CSGO on CS2. So even though we have this built-in browser, which might actually have some really cool servers, even though like almost all of them are full right now, if we're in the play section of the game, there's no way to quickly access any of the workshop content that you've subscribed to or downloaded. And even if I open up the console and type in map, if you look at this list, there's absolutely nothing in here from the Steam Workshop. It's all just the default maps on Counter-Strike 2. And man, this frustrated me so much that I went down the deepest of rabbit holes trying to find Bugs Bunny and also trying to find... but really just trying to figure out how can I get access to all the stuff that I had on CSGO. How do I get my aim training maps back? How do I get my screenshot maps back? Crosshair generators, surfing maps, all that kind of stuff. What happened to it in CS2? This is what I found. First, we need to start by closing CS2 because there's just nothing we can do at the moment. I can tell you guys this right now. If you're trying to play any of your workshop content on CS2, it's just not going to happen. At least not currently, but we'll get to that later in the video. So as a prime example, I'm here on the workshop. Let's say I want to get this aim USP 1v1 map, right? Sounds pretty interesting. It looks like a lot of people are enjoying it, so let's go ahead and subscribe and download the map. I think it already downloaded. That was fast. So we're gonna go ahead and go back and launch Counter-Strike 2. And as you guys saw, I did not have that map previously downloaded. I just got it now. If I go to play, there's absolutely no way to access that map that I just got. And if I go to the console and type in map, it's not here at all. There's no way for me to load this map up at all, but there is still a way to play it. What I found to be the best method for accessing all of this workshop content is to right-click Counter-Strike 2 on Steam and go to Properties, and then go over to the Betas section, and then download the legacy version of CSGO. Now, depending on your internet connection, this could take a while to download, but once you have it, you can click the play button on Counter-Strike 2, and instead you can choose to launch the legacy version of CSGO. So we're gonna go ahead and click play, and I'm gonna show you guys the difference. Okay, so as you can see, we're on CSGO, and this is another one of the big problems that I have. When you go to launch Legacy CSGO, you're going to be greeted with this message. It says, this is the legacy version of CSGO. Support for it will end on January 1st, 2024. And then it says something about how your hardware config may be incompatible with CS2 if you launch this instead. But the most important part of this message is where it says, support for this will end on January 1st of next year. That could possibly mean that the legacy version of CSGO is going to just disappear next year, which is actually kind of terrifying, and you'll see why in a bit. But before we jump into that bad news, I at least want to show you guys the difference between CS2 and CSGO. If I click the play button right here, you can actually see that we have workshop maps. Everything that I've downloaded is just right here. It's very easy to access. Literally the brand new map, the AIM USP 1v1 that I just downloaded, is right here. Now there is a simple explanation for why it shows up here and not in CS2, and we will dive into that, but if I pull up the CS2 console and I type in map, I can access any of these maps. Granted, it's probably going to take some digging to actually find it, and honestly, this console is a lot uglier than the new one. But you can see it says map, workshop, and then it has the different maps. So yeah, there's multiple ways to access the workshop maps in CSGO, but there's no way to get onto them and access them in CS2. The main reason I wanted to do this is because I just wanted to get onto a screenshot map so I could show you guys my knives. I was going to do a video trying to figure out how valuable my inventory is on CS2 now that we have a brand new game, which if you guys do want to see that video, definitely let me know in the comments. I'm not going to be covering that quite yet now because I really wanted to focus on this issue. But yeah, if you guys want to see more Counter-Strike stuff, you know what to do. We're going to go T-side so I can show you guys some stuffs. Dude, this is kind of a nice little screenshot map. I like it. We can actually go into a room. Ooh. Dude, that's crazy. Look at this. We can change all the backgrounds. Oh, you can just straight up get a green screen. Yo, look at that. That is amazing, dude. Now we can just green screen the knife inspect while I have a full face cam going. Now, if you guys didn't happen to know, the CSGO workshop content, the community behind it, is massive. It's huge. It's arguably one of the most important parts of the game, and it seems like it just kind of got forgotten about or ignored for Counter-Strike 2, and here's why. I did all kinds of digging trying to figure out what happened. Like, why can't we access workshop content in CS2? I was trying to see if there was even an official statement from Valve about why it's not here or when we could expect it to be available in CS2, and There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. No statements, no kinds of updates, no timeline as to when we can expect this to be in the game, which is honestly kind of horrifying. Especially because support for CSGO Legacy is going to be stopping on January 1st. Now, if we can still access the game and we can still use the workshop content, then we might be okay, but I'm really worried that they might actually just pull support for it and we might not be able to get back onto it, which would essentially mean that CS2 would have to have workshop support before 2024. Otherwise, we're just going to be left in the dark. Now, a big reason this worries me is because this is starting to become a really bad trend in gaming that we're seeing happen over and over again. You guys already know that this has been happening with Call of Duty. It even happened with Halo Infinite. It's happened with Overwatch as well. Now, I guess I can at least give Valve some credit. They have not been alluding to the idea of the workshop content from CSGO moving into CS2 anytime soon. They haven't really talked about it. So I guess they also haven't really been getting our expectations up as to when we can expect that to even exist or happen. Halo Infinite is a prime example. The game is not even going to be getting split screen co-op, which was a promised and expected feature that should have been in the game, but it's not going to happen at all. Now, thankfully, Halo Infinite has actually taken some steps to try to improve the game in other ways. The Overwatch 2 PvE stuff, completely scrapped. It's just not going to happen, and they're just going to be focusing on the core version of the game. And as far as it goes for Call of Duty, I don't think I really need to elaborate on that front. I don't know, man. I was really just hoping that CS2 is going to be different. Like, it does seem like the game is trying to make some good improvements and some good changes and stuff, but truthfully, I don't think this game was ready to come out of the beta stage of the game quite yet and then be fully released for everyone. I really don't think the game was ready. Do we have over 500,000 people in game right now, though? I mean, that's still really impressive. It's insane because the Counter-Strike community has basically never gone anywhere. It's still thriving, it's still doing well, but I really am just hoping that Valve could be a little bit more transparent. Let us know how the game is doing, what we can expect as far as goes for the features and updates for the game. I just pulled up their Twitter to see if there were any updates, and on the 25th, there were apparently some release notes for the game. This is my first time looking at it, so I don't really know what to expect, but it looks like it's mostly just like map changes and, you know, bug fixes, stuff that will most likely improve the gameplay and stuff, which, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that, but we definitely should be getting some updates about the workshop for CS2. I really hope I'm not sitting here and overreacting, but I want to hear from you guys too. What do you think about the current CS2 workshop situation? I really don't think any of us can sit here and be happy with how it currently is. We don't have a working workshop in CS2. You have to go back to the legacy version of CSGO to access any of that content, and I do understand that it's not going to be the simplest task to get all of that content working because they moved to Source 2. I actually need to quit the game again so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. But if you go to CS2 on Steam, you can actually right-click. Wait a second. Wait, is this how you get it back? Hold up, none of this is checked. I'm already subscribed to it, but okay. Am I gonna regret recording this video? I was just gonna say that you can actually download the CS2 workshop tools, and there's a way to kind of access that, but there is a discrepancy between the CSGO workshop and the Counter-Strike 2 workshop because they run on different engines, which should technically mean that not everything is going to work from game to game, but I also did not see that workshop stuff in the settings before, so I mean, maybe it'll work now. I don't know. Bro, I spent so much time trying to research all this stuff and figure it out beforehand, but if this somehow works, I'm gonna freak out. Now, just so we're on the same page, you still can't access workshop content by, you know, going to the play section of the game. Even if you click practice or if you go to private matchmaking, it's not a thing. Now, if we pull up the console, though, can we access any of the workshop content? Oh, wait. No, we can't. It's only a preview of Ancient, Dust 2, and Inferno. Now, that's not to say that there isn't any kind of custom content available for CS2. There are ways to do it, just not through the Steam Workshop, which obviously at the moment is a huge miss because that's where the majority of the workshop content is. It's just right there in Steam, but we can't even access it on this game. Dude, the craziest part about this is that I'm not really like a CSGO YouTuber, like a Counter-Strike YouTuber or channel, but I don't know, man. It just like boils my blood. It's so frustrating, and I'm really surprised that more people are not like trying to get Valve's attention and be like, hey, when is CS2 getting the workshop content? Man, I'm gonna miss this game, even though it actually kind of looks uglier. Look at this, all the surfing maps. We got Crash from COD 4, Modern Warfare 2, Rust. Oh, Jesus. We need all of this content back in CS2, dude. Especially MLG gun range, whatever this is. I'm so terrible, man. I mean, really should just be like tap firing with the AK or like fire a couple rounds. Oh, a gun I can aim with. But yeah, man, I don't want to drag out this video for too long. I just really wanted to bring awareness to this because I know that I personally really want to see the workshop content make its way into CS2. It sure would be a darn shame if all of that amazing workshop content just went poof. So many people have worked so hard and made so many amazing maps and just so much amazing workshop content, and I really don't want to see it go to waste. I would love to see it come to Counter-Strike 2 and hopefully come into the game soon. But with that being said, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me shed some light on this really big issue with Counter-Strike 2. If you guys did enjoy this video and you want to see some more CS2 stuff on the channel, make sure to drop a like. See you guys later.
Outcome, Triangle.